Welcome to another episode of Hacking Life. Ben and Cassie from Gold Pine here. We're driving through the green hills of Montana on our way to Red Lodge, Montana for a songwriting festival. We thought we'd jump on here and bring up a topic.
Yeah, we didn't have much time because it was only a 25-hour drive.
Yeah, and it's the last 20 minutes.
13.
On these micro episodes, we might not be talking about life hacks per se, but we will be talking about how we hack away at life the best we can. Like Jan hacked away at Cassie's hair just a couple weeks ago. Anyway, today I want to talk about... Cassie and I both have a fascination with cults. There's so many fascinating things about it. About how a leader can gain control over somebody. About how the people... in the, what do you call it, the group can allow themselves to be controlled by somebody. They can be scary things, but either way, they're very fascinating and show telling of human psychology and behavior. We recently watched a Netflix series about the 7M cult. Do you want to tell us about that 7M cult? What?
By the way, Ben never tells me what we're going to talk about, so I don't know until we get on here. It was called Dancing for the Devil, and basically what it's about is, remember during COVID, like when all of a sudden TikTok became such a big thing, but at first it was mostly about like dancing. Well, basically, kind of what a big gist of this documentary is the leader Robert of this cult of Shekinah Church. He decided to make basically like a management company, and he started kind of signing these dancers. He also was the head leader of a church. And the way that all that tied in together is because his son was a videographer and was friends with these dancers, and it was just all kind of like pulled in together. And a lot of times it was people that come from broken homes, dysfunction, parentlessness, if that's a word. And anyways, he brings these people in.
And they were already dancers that had great social media followings.
Yeah.
But didn't have any way or like very good income. I think they didn't know. From what it seemed like, they were kind of just struggling artists, but they had very high social media followings.
Great dancers.
So Robert sees an opportunity here when they start coming to his church to start this management company.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
So basically, Robert, throughout, I don't know, a couple years, and I think that it's still going on, mistreats these dancers that are in his artist company, and not allowing them fair wages, there was sexual advances involved, rape involved, all these allegations, and a very controlling leader who gained all the power and gained all the money.
Very manipulative.
And so, what is it about cults that fascinates you, Cass? Because I know you love watching that kind of stuff.
I mean...
in like a couple statements.
It's not necessarily that it's just intriguing because I can understand how a person could fall into the trap, so to say, and get sucked into it, because at first most of these things start out as good things, or it seems like a good thing, and you're getting something like it's inviting, it's loving, it's welcoming. Yeah, you're getting a community.
Getting a home where you didn't feel like you had one before.
Yeah, and I guess the reason why that I enjoy watching them is because I would never say, I would never do that, I would never fall for that, because because I can always see how it starts and how you could fall into that. And it's just very interesting to follow it and see. I love seeing when people break out of it, break away from it, reveal it for what it is, and bring truth and light to it and bring it down. So, but it's just, you can't help it. It's interesting. It's a great watch.
Yeah, the two things I find fascinating about it is, number one, how a leader of a cult can, boy, I mean, they're a business person. If you think about the ingenuity that a cult leader uses to prey on the vulnerabilities of other people, and to see those vulnerabilities and figure out a way to exploit those and make money and power for yourself. I mean, that is a business mind right there. It's just so, that's fascinating to me. And the other fascinating thing I brought up earlier is how, and all of us can say this from the outside, but how someone can allow themselves to be controlled or be a part of a cult. What is it about our human psychology that will allow ourselves to be mistreated, to look past things that are accusations?
Because it doesn't start that way.
Okay. And maybe it's because they feel like they found love and acceptance and community. And I do feel like so many things are about that. You will overlook so many things when it comes to you found your home, you found your place of acceptance. And in some of those situations, it's not bad to overlook some things. I mean, love covers a multitude of wrongs. But then in some situations like cults, obviously, you've got the other extreme. And so, fascinating and very telling of the human psyche, I suppose. We kind of talked about maybe some of the people that might be vulnerable to cults, and that might be people who are vulnerable in certain ways, whether it's financially or whether it's socially.
Well, in particular, two sisters, and by the way, if you haven't seen this, this wasn't the first time that he had done this. He had done this before.
But not with a dance company.
But not with a dance company.
With something else he had.
With his church.
Yeah.
And what happened with those girls is that the sisters were raising each other. They didn't have parental guidance. They were not born in the U.S., and I think their parents were hardly a part of their lives when they came to the U.S. Yeah, maybe. But
Something
the
like
thing
that.
is, they felt so loved and connected. Do I go right?
Straight.
Oh,
Right there.
straight. They were missing that love, like, can you imagine, like, raising your sibling and never having a parent there to help you? So she started going to this church and then found this love and acceptance, and then brought her other sister in. And so that's how it starts, because we all just want to be loved. It's what we want. Relationship. We're designed for love. We're designed for relationship. And when you find that, you feel complete. And so they were getting something that they had never had their entire life. And that's how it happened.
And that covered over, because of that, they were overlooked so many wrongs that were done to them and to the people around them. So not a bad thing at first. Obviously, everybody wants to have that community, but then it was misguided.
Yeah.
So the thing that's interesting to me is that these kinds of things scare me, because how do you know you're in a cult? How do you know? Nobody at the very beginning knows they're in a cult. So what are the marks? Yeah. So what are the marks of a cult? And I did a little bit of research, and I came up with a few that are pretty interesting. One mark of a cult is that the leader has no accountability, right? They have no one to speak into their lives. There's no board to talk about decisions. The only power belongs to the leader. Another mark of a cult is when they encourage the followers to isolate from friends, from family, in an extraordinary way. And that's what happened with this cult we're talking about.
Yeah.
And other ones that we've heard of, that we've discovered too, is that they encourage almost a complete separation from family, not talking about anything, not even being a part of their lives hardly anymore. So that is another mark of the cult. And then another one is the dismissal of free thought. So if the leader is not allowing you to have your thoughts, not allowing you to speak your mind, not allowing you to disagree at all, that's another mark of a cult. So those are three that I'm thinking of. Can you think of any others off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head. I'm also a little distracted because it's so beautiful here in Montana, and there's just deer and everything everywhere.
Sorry you can't see the other side of the camera.
So yeah, those are the main things.
Yeah, so interesting. It's great to be aware of those things and to know. Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, that church is a cult or that group is a cult. And the truth is you got to look at the criteria and see, is these things really happening? And if you guys have any more criteria to add to this of what is a cult, please leave that in the comments. We would love to add to this list and continue that discussion. So any last words on cults?
Go watch the show. Let us know what you think. It's crazy. It's heartbreaking, and what's crazy to me is that the main girl is still in it.
Yeah, you might recognize the videos that this management company from the cult makes. We remember watching them during COVID, and they are top-notch videos, top-notch dance videos.
So
super
good.
Cool. So, very interesting. It's called Dancing for the Devil, I believe, on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll see y'all next time.